we know during this time of year, sometimes you got to trim the bush a little bit. Sometimes you got to be careful with the short and curlies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about my friends at Manscaped, because you know they are the leaders in below the waistline grooming. Deke, you're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
You know they keep the grass low so the tree can show a little bit more. We with you on all that. And that's what we appreciate them. But that Lawnmower 4.0 in particular is the one that always stands out to me. You know, that one with the light on it. Turns on and off. Because some of these got lights that they don't turn on and off. That's not acceptable. You got to have options. Daytime, nighttime, primetime game. You know what I'm saying? Daytime game. But that's what the Lawnmower 4.0 brings to the table, along with a plethora of other healthcare options. Man, you're talking the shampoo, the body wash. Did you want to talk about the body wash?
Yeah, I've been using it ever since Manscaped sent over the care package. The body wash, the shampoo, got me smelling good, feeling fresh.
I personally, you come in here daily, I'm like, yo, Deke, you smell really nice, bro.
Thanks.
I wanted to hug you the other day. I just didn't want to make it awkward. But that's what you bring to the table, man. That's what Manscaped brings to the table,
the body spray, too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, with that being said, we also know that when we talk about anybody up here, we got to have something for you. And that's a promo code. It's MOATS. You use that, you'll get your 20% off of your purchase at manscaped.com, along with free shipping worldwide. So, Deke, to me, this sounds like a no-brainer. It sounds like one of those things like, don't waste your time.
A win-win.
Yeah. They're doing for you. You're going to do for you, and you're also going to do for others. But either way, man, definitely use that promo code, and your dangly twins will appreciate you.
So, I was wondering, you're obviously from Pittsburgh. And you have an interesting story, I think. I'm definitely curious on uncovering it here. How you got number 31 whenever you came over, because Donnie's show, whenever he retired, the number was like unofficially retired, and then you were the first one to rock 31. Now there's been a couple players since then, but can you give us the backstory to all that?
Oh man, yeah, I definitely can give you the backstory for that. It was a very interesting one for me, man. First and foremost, it was an honor to don the number 31 on the field. You know, I'm a Pittsburgh guy, like you said, coming up, born and raised, idolizing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and having the opportunity to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers was everything in itself. So they could have gave me number 96. I would have wore that. I wouldn't have cared. But to be able to don 31, to me, it epitomizes everything about my career, because I not only wanted to emulate Donnie Shell on the football field, but I wanted to emulate him off the football field for the man he is and how he lives his life. And that was more important to me than the number. But the way the number came about was I was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. My number in college was 23. Someone had that number down there in Jacksonville. So I was like, I know how this goes. I ain't coming out of my pocket giving you none of my rookie money to get that number. I was like, yo, it's just a number. I'm happy.
Said I don't want it like that.
Yeah, I ain't had no NIL deals in college, man. I wasn't coming up off my paper. You know what I mean? So they ended up giving me the reciprocal. I got 32, and I was cool with that. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, this is the new start, new career. Let's get it. Rock number 32. My free agent year came up, and I was, trying to see what I was going to do. I was actually getting ready to sign back with Jacksonville, and I ended up seeing Coach Cower at his daughter's basketball game. I was going to watch Swing Cash, and I seen Coach Cower, and I was like, hope this dude can see me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a free agent. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of looking in his eyes like, Coach, I want to come home and play for my hometown team. But luckily, they were in the market for a defensive back. And a couple days later, I think a couple weeks later, I got a call from my agent saying, hey, Pittsburgh wants to bring you home. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yes. Let's go. This is a dream come true for me, since I thought I was, 6 years old, standing on a coal bin in Whitaker Projects, saying I'm going to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was coming to fruition. So at that time, I was literally like, I told my agent, I don't care what they offer me, I'm signing. And he's like, yo, no. Let me do my work. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, let's get you some money that you deserve. I was like, listen, I don't care what they do. I'll sign for minimum for whatever. He was like, no, we're going to get this done. But I said all that to say the way the number came about was, there is this guy from the Pittsburgh Steelers who had this like miracle catch, where he grabs the ball off the turf and he goes down and scores. I forget. Oh, Franco Harris. That guy Franco who
May have
made
heard
the
of him.
immaculate reception.
Might have heard of him. I seen him in an airport
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think we heard of him somewhere. So I knew that was out the question. Coming home, I was like, there's no way, they're going to give me number 32. So of course Roger calls me on the phone. Hey, what number would you like? And I was like, Roger, I really don't care. He was like, well, you're a safety. Why don't you think about, we're going to give you 31. And right in that instant, I'm like, well, didn't Mr. Donnie Shell, wear that number? And is that number allowed to be worn? He's like, well, nobody's ever worn it since he's left, but I think he would be honored if you would. And I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, that's not only, big shoes to fill, but that's a lot of pressure in trying to represent, like I said, who he was on and off the field. Yeah. But I was so honored that they even offered it, that I was like, and he's like, well, why don't you call him and see if he would mind? I'm like, listen, I'm not calling Mr. Shell and talking to him about, wearing his number. And I kept saying, Mr. Shell, they're like, listen, Donnie's a great guy. I think he would be honored. And I didn't make the call because I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll take a different number, whatever y'all want to do. I think they made the call, and he was like, no doubt. Like that he was like, I would be honored if he did. And that's how that came about, man. And I tried to represent that number on the field best as I could, but I'm definitely representing what he means to me and the city of Pittsburgh and all of his teammates off the field. I'm trying to live in that light because I was lucky enough and honored enough to wear that number.
Man, that is an awesome story right there, man. Shout out to Donnie Shell too, man. He's obviously been a friend of our show as well, man. Awesome dude, extremely humble, man. And shout out to Raj. For those that don't know, Raj at that time was the head strength and condition, or not head strength and conditioning, head of the equipment management, stuff like that. So yeah, he green lights if you can wear a number or not. I know similar concept for me. He was one I had to talk to, even picking my jerseys and stuff like that, man. Raj has been around. I think he just retired like a year ago, maybe. Raj is one of them dudes, man. So definitely shout out to him.